is like, hey, they're not supposed to be shooting into moving vehicles because there's so many other when you go shooting, the first rule is you always got to know what's behind your target. And the same thing goes for them, especially in a crowded area like that. And there's a bunch of people around. Her wife was literally on the other side of the I don't know if it was directly behind her as far as when she was turning to the right. Her wife was at the other door.
Right,
she had
in the
just let go.
set.
So that bullet could have easily went through and struck the wife behind her if it went through the right panel of glass or whatever. And it's like you gotta all of that stuff gets taken into account. And then I had another point that it escaped me though, but all of that stuff it's a whole lot of stuff that is gonna go into it. And then at the end of the day, they're still gonna have to beyond deciding if they're gonna would like to charge him or not. Is like even if they do, they still gotta go through 12 civilians. And what are the likelihood of those 12 civilians coming to an agreement on this?
Yeah, and
it should last longer than the Diddy trial did.
I think it's going to get way worse because I still feel like in some way, shape, or form, people, us, everybody else is looking at it from state laws or what the state have to follow, what police officers have to follow in their state. Like these are
that's law enforcement.
Yeah, it's law enforcement, but they're federal agents,
right?
No, they're still law enforcement. They're still beholden to.
No, but they're federal employees.
Not the laws of the state or whatever.
Right,
there's still regulations and
but
that stuff still applies to.
Like how do it are the laws different in one state versus the other, or is it just a blanket law?
No, those stuff goes to like courts, like
but I
federal
feel like
courts and stuff.
they're going to be held differently versus
they're not going to be held by state law.
No, I'm talking about when you're talking about like criminal court and stuff. That stuff doesn't go by like killing the person. That's immediately a federal investigation. Anytime a murder or supposed murder or however you want to frame it.
But isn't it if you kill somebody and it's the state's attorney that versus you, but federally you're going to get a federal attorney or whatever.
Well, it depends on what the charges are, if it's state or federal.
Yeah. But I still feel like those might actually play. I still feel like there's a silver lining that we're probably missing as far as what they abide by versus.
I mean, at the end of the day, a murder is a murder. If they choose to charge him, as a murder, which, like I said, in the administration, it's not even going to get to that point.
Yeah, I don't think.
But on my other point was going to be as far as people may counter as to the state of what his mind state is in the moment and fear of your life and adrenaline and all that other stuff.
I'm like, let's be honest, and I'm like back to the defense. If I have my witnesses, which are my partners, and we're going based off of what they had so far, it's like you got the video and you can dissect that a million ways to one. If you come out 50-50, that's fine. You got the video from down the street, dissect that 100 ways to whatever, 50-50, yeah, that's fine. You got that new video that they just came out with. Yeah, you got that. People can argue that, it's still, whatever, fine. But when it comes down to his boys that were standing there, they're going to be like, if that was me, I'd have did it. And now you're talking about eyewitnesses and you getting into the deep dive. So, like you said, it probably won't even come to that. They probably won't bring charges unless, Democrats come into power somewhere down the line and hunt this guy out.
Would the state bring the charges?
It would be state because
it would be state.
This would be a federal case, him being a federal employee. Not unless the state can charge him.
But how
according to what I was hearing when they did like a quick little press conference, whatever, as far as the investigation is going. The FBI has taken over the investigation.
That ain't happening then. He ain't going.
They police yourself. Policing themselves.
You got Cash Patel in there. That ain't happening.
They originally they had an agreement to work to do the investigation in conjoinment with their I forget what their initials were, but it's like D something. But it was their investigation, their investigation unit, the state's investigation unit. They had made an agreement to work together with them, the FBI and them. And then at a certain point, they were just like, yeah, nah, we got this. So it's like, and the lady was saying, she was like speaking from past experience. When the FBI chooses to handle an investigation themselves, they don't give us access to any of the evidence. They don't give us access to any of the updates or anything like that. They were like, we get a PowerPoint at the end of their investigation about what they've come to, the evidence they had, and the conclusions that they've come to, and then they're not allowed to even release or talk about what they were, what they were briefed on. Yeah. So it's like, at this point, they were like, hey, we would like to be able to do this in conjoinment because, this is something that happened in our state. So we unequivocally have jurisdiction over it until the FBI decides to say, hey, no, this is us.
That's
so
it.
Like,
that's in every movie.
Yeah, like they can't really. But I think she was saying this to the point of saying like, hey, because there were things floating around just because the fact that it was a federal employee, that means that they don't have jurisdiction. And she was saying that's not the case. The case is that it happened in our state, so we have jurisdiction. The thing now is the FBI supersedes all of that. Yeah. So the FBI has decided to handle this themselves.
That's been in every movie, and it's been like that since its inception. Yeah. But like in Die Hard, we do it's like, oh shit, let me guess, feds? Yeah. The motherfuckers came over there like, we're taking over.
I thought about when I was watching that, the scene that came in my head was Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence when they were at the hangar. And then he was looking at the when he was pretending to be the cop. Remember that? No, I'm sure you've seen it.
I've seen it a long time ago.
But he was pretending to be a cop, so they were looking at trying to find drugs and stuff in this airport hangar, and they were looking at it, and then all you just see is like blue jackets with them bright yellow letters came on. They walked in, and was like, all right, this is our scene now. Y'all wrap this up, get out of here. And he was like, what? He was like, no, we taking care of this. This is in LA, this LAPD or whatever. And he was like, well, I'm FBI. And he snatched the evidence. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It was like, hell. As soon as she said, it's like, yeah, the FBI is taking over. I was like, yeah, well, hell, we not going to find out.
You know what? Yeah, then it's a wrap then.
And they took the vehicle and everything. They got the vehicle and they in custody. Yeah. And they was like, hell, they're not getting access to nothing unless the FBI decides for some reason that they would like to do it.
And they're not.
They're not, because if there's any way that that they feel like, hey, this could come out not in our favor, they're not gonna release none of that shit.
Right.
No.
And they're going, like I said, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. It's like, you're not about to stop this. It's like, what the hell?
Plus we got midterms. We got midterms on the way too.
Yeah, that shouldn't have gamble. But no, it's not going to stop them from being out on the streets. If the Democrats take power, they can't stop Trump from having ICE do its job. That's a mandate. It's like that is a job.
No. I mean, only thing that they can do is just hope that Trump does something that's a little bit too far, that they can start talking about impeachment with, which I think I've heard rumblings about this.
That's the first thing.
Would it even be pointless now? He can't run again.
This is a payback.
If they can get him out, okay. From there, but
impeachment doesn't get you out of office necessarily unless
if it gets approved, yeah, it gets.
But he got impeached twice already.
Then he got impeached like 4 times.
Impeachment. Technically, once the paperwork has been filed, technically you've been impeached.
Yeah,
but once it doesn't, you don't get kicked out of office until everything goes through and it gets voted. So it's like, when you say, "Oh, this person has been impeached," like who was it? Was it and Bill Clinton? It was like he got technically impeached, but he still,
still ran. Like
they still got it.
And same thing with him.
But I'm saying, what exactly does that?
But no, so what I mean when I'm saying impeach, I mean the process completely goes through to where that they are able to get him out of office.
All the way they get it.
And
25th Amendment, you
yeah,
mean?
so
They would probably try to.
yeah, so I'm like, that's
but-
the only thing that they could possibly hope for as far as winning over some midterms is like, hey,
But-
they can hope that maybe he grab another person by the pussy or something and then catch it on camera.
All right.
Or they probably AI. And that's again that comes back to the game, which I never understood. I just never understood that throughout all this time and the people that knew him and was cool with him. And again, because I can remember those days when Trump first
hip hop
hit
videos.
Yeah, he
WWE
was
and everything.
he would pop up and be with black peoples and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. He gave them money for a charity and received an award for it. So on Oprah and all this shit, it's like everybody loved this nigga back in the day.
Kamala Harris campaign.
Yeah,
for
this
her to be a
dude
state
did
attorney.
a lot of shit. I guess people forget when he had Jennifer Hudson up in his hotel after her family
Got murdered. Oh, yeah.
It was a dude that's done a lot of stuff, boy. So I always sit there and laugh to myself like, oh, so when he become a racist, as Al Sharpton, when he became a racist,
Well, I mean, I don't
after he
know.
gave y'all that money and shit, but y'all was cool with him then. But then when he decided, and he used to be a Democrat. I don't know if people knew that. The nigga
Yeah.
was a registered Democrat.
Yeah,
but he
saying that-
decided, like everybody else playing the game, hey, how can I get in this game and run some shit? He talked to them people and was like, hey, I can do it off of my personality and my talk. Let me do a couple of things and we good. And
I mean, it's funny you said, because I'm like, we've had that conversation before, and it was like, it was a lot of, real time things. So you know how you have a conversation, then afterwards you start thinking like, oh man, damn, like, okay, I could have said this or whatever, or just replaying a conversation, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, I don't have any. Like when you go out and you say, oh, he's a racist. I'm like, I don't think that he is the kind of racist who specifically hates black people. Let's use black people. He specifically hates black people and wants to see their downfall and wants to participate in their downfall. However, I feel like he don't give a shit about anybody. And only thing that he does or has ever done was something that would potentially benefit him in whether it be like a social standing or financial down the road. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I can't really dispute the things that I just happen to disagree with on his standpoint.